Hello, and welcome to another First Fridays with Robert Black. Today's show is going to feature four composers from the collective Bass Players for Black Composers. So we're going to hear music from Yaz Lancaster, Nick Dunston, Mason Bynes, and Joy Guidry. Bass Players for Black Composers grew out of the Black Lives Matters and social justice movements that have consumed a lot of our attention in these past couple of years with an urgency because of the number of black people that were killed at the hands of the police. So the organization was put together by a group of bass players, and it was kind of their response to the institutional racism that we find in a lot of our cultural organizations, kind of racism that all too often is never acknowledged. So that's, like I said, this was their response to these social situations. The mission of Bass Players for Black Composers is to simply supply additional support for more black composers. And they do this through a number of ways. One is by commissioning the composers. Another is by organizing performances of their music, publishing their music, arranging workshops, and master classes for the composers to participate in. So it's a really great coming together of a lot of artists into one particular place. And it works really well for everybody. I mean, for the composers, they get their music performed more, and they get a little wider network and a little bit more exposure. For somebody like me, performer, I can go to the website and discover a number of people that I did not know about and find music that I hadn't known about as well, and can actually get the music and present it to you. And you as a listener also get to hear a lot of really great music and get to know some composers that you may not already know. So let me pick up the bass and we will get on with the actual music. So the first work is by Yaz Lancaster, and it's called Wind Down 2. Beautiful work, has a lovely backing track and for solo bass. I met Yaz at the New Music on the Point festival, maybe 1 or 2 summers before the pandemic hit. They had some really beautiful music performed on that festival, and they also turned out some really beautiful playing on their violin. So I was especially excited when I realized that Yaz was part of this collective and that there was some music here for me to play. So let's hear it. This is Wind Down 2 by Yaz Lancaster. Thank you. That was The Beautiful Wind Down 2 by Yaz Lancaster. The next piece is by Nick Dunston, and it is called Mulch Awareness Month. Now, I don't know how it is where you live, but here in New England, we generally do most of our mulching in March or April, May, sometime in the spring. I try to get my own personal mulching done by June. So November is a little bit early, but I suppose it's, never too early to actually start thinking about mulch. So, as you might remember from last season, I played another work by Nick Dunston, a piece called Fainting is Down, Whooshing is Up. It was commissioned by Bang on a Can for one of their virtual marathon concerts, and then I was also able to perform it on the First Fridays. Nick, in his scores, uses a kind of an unconventional notation. There's not a lot of traditional notation. There's boxes and notes, but not on staffs, and it's very graphic in that respect. So both of these pieces share that kind of notational convention. However, they are very different sounding pieces. So it's quite exciting to be able to play Mulch Awareness Month for you today. Another thing that Nick says in his program notes, though, he encourages the performer to have fun with this piece, to have fun working it out, to have fun performing it. And indeed, I have had fun working it out and performing it. So how about we have a little bit of fun now and hear some Mulch Awareness Month by Nick Dunston. Mulch Awareness Month by Nick Dunston. Good. So let's go on to the next work. That would be The Reckoning by Mason Bynes. Interesting title, especially when you see it written, The Reckoning. The part of that word is spelled W-R-E-C-K. It's in brackets, uppercase letters, and then after the brackets are lowercase O-N-I-N-G. The Reckoning. I'd like to read to you what Mason has said about her piece in the performance notes from the composer that are in the score. And it starts with the word reckoning, R-E-C-K-I-N-G. So, reckoning. Noun. 1. Count. Computation, calculation. 2. The settlements of accounts as between two companies. 3. A statement of an amount due, bill. 4. An accounting as for things received or done. 5. An appraisal or judgment. 6. Navigation, dead reckoning. She continues, I wrote this piece as an exploration of Black expression through the intersections of jazz, blues, and rock idioms, including interjections of classical lyricism. Black is beautifully intersectional, and I wanted to present the different ways in which I express myself as a Black composer and musician. This piece is written to encourage others to acknowledge their own reckonings, be it a reckoning of the body, the mind, the soul, the heart, or the spirit. We must settle the reckonings within ourselves in order to avoid wrecking the paths of others. Black Lives Matter. Mason Bynes. All right. Let's hear it. Thank you. That was The Reckoning by Mason Bynes. I have one more piece to play for you today. We'll get into the right lighting. Piece called In My Bed by Joy Guidry. Joy's piece also uses a very unconventional notation, very let's get the right camera up too. A very graphic notation. There are circles and there are colors and squiggles and colored lines and instructions in all sorts of very open kind of gestures to interpret. So one of the great things about working with living composers or playing the music of living composers is you can ask them questions. So I was able to ask questions of Nick and got some answers, which was very helpful in finding my way through the piece. And in the same way with Joy's work, I was able to ask them questions about how to interpret and what they had in mind, and which was very, very, very useful. So yeah, so that's, like I said, one of the real pleasures of working with living composers. So, with that being said, let's hear In My Bed. Oh, and we'll have to do one more thing. If you've attended a number of First Fridays, you know it's not really a First Fridays unless I have to retune the instrument, which I do for Joy's piece. Not too complicated this time. Here we go. In My Bed, Joy Guidry. In My Bed by Joy Guidry. Okay, that is the program for today. Thank you for tuning in. And as always, if you are able to buy a ticket, thank you very, very much for that. Before you sign off, if you haven't already, maybe you can stop by the box office and get a ticket, or you could make a small donation if you so choose, or even a large donation if you wanted to. Your support really is important to us to enable us to continue to bring you this series in season 2. So we'll be back next month on Friday, December 3rd. So mark your calendar on that program. I'll be playing some music by Michael Gordon and John Luther Adams. So it should be a terrific program. In the meantime, have a great month, and I'll see you on Friday, December 3rd. Thank you. Bye-bye.